Back in Buffalo, a perfect day for football. Indian summer day here in October, 73 degrees and sunny. Let's go to the sideline now and bring in Laura Okmin. Laura.
Thanks, Sam. Eagles defensive tackle Cullen Jenkins told me we need a win for our record, but we need it just as badly for our confidence right now. He challenged every one of his teammates to dig deep today and bring out the fighter inside them. Guys, he wants to see the one thing he hasn't seen out of this team all year, a killer instinct for 4 quarters.
Thanks, Laura. There is Cullen Jenkins. They're without Trent Cole. Andy Reid's got a couple of injury issues that he has to deal with today on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. And across the way in his second year as head coach, Chan Gailey. What a job he's done. Great offensive mind, isn't he, Brian?
Yeah, he is. You know, and he's 3-1. It's funny. It tells you about the NFL. You can be 3-1, but when did you win the 3? When did you lose the 1? The 1 was the most recent, so that's the one you carry around.
A last-second loss in Cincinnati, where the Bills led. Michael Vick getting ready to take the field.
Well, it's such a great day today, Sam. Oddly enough, we're in Buffalo, but the weather may be a factor. It's a little warmer than you thought. Obviously, both teams hydrating. We may see a heavy rotation of personnel today. It's a little warmer than you might have expected.
The Eagles will receive. Dion Lewis and Riley Cooper are back deep. You think the heat will be any kind of a problem?
We'll have to see. If it's extended long drives, then you may see a higher rotation on the defensive line. That's where you usually see it the most. Still, though, this is a great day for football.
The 3-1 Buffalo Bills tied with New England for first place in the AFC East. Ryan Lindell kicks it off. And here we go. Dion Lewis juggles the ball. It stays in the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles on offense, led by Michael Vick, who passed for over 400 yards last week and ran for 75 there. That changes. King Dunlop starts at tackle. Danny Watkins, #1 draft pick, at guard.
Yeah, Michael Vick can't worry about those changes. He's got a good group here of skilled people to go to. I expect to see Michael Vick inside and outside the pocket a great deal today.
Bills come out with 5 defensive backs. See the numbers last week. Only player ever to pass for over 400 yards and run for 75 yards in the same game. Out of the shotgun. Merriman jumped across, drew a flag. Vick's pass is caught. Good pass and a good grab by Jeremy Maclin. And a good start right away as Vick comes out throwing. The Eagles like to throw it on first down. Walt Coleman, our referee.
Offside, defense. That penalty's declined. Play results in a first down.
And that's always the killer here. The defense jumps off sides. Now, that's not going to stop the play unless an offensive lineman moves. That would then stop it. Everybody kind of pauses. That's how they came up with the big play to start the game.
With Sean McCoy, the running back. And they motion Brent Selleck, the tight end. Vick throws on the roll to Maclin. Slipped one man, gets into Bills territory. And down at the 48-yard line. Check out the Bills defensively. They play a 3-4, and the guy to watch is the first-round draft pick, the #3 pick overall, Marcel Darius.
He is a factor inside. I'm going to watch these corners on the outside. Are they willing to go press man against this speedy, talented group of the Philadelphia Eagles, both McKelvin and Drayton Florence?
Drayton Florence starting. Terrence McGee remains on the sideline, though he is dressed for the game. Danny Batten, you saw us highlight him. He's making his first NFL start with Chris Kelsey out. That's a loss on the play as George Wilson, the safety, came bursting through to make the tackle.
Well, you can see here on the inside, this 3-4, and it's a 3-4 base defense for the Buffalo Bills. Now the safety's on the backside. They're going to build this box for a number of reasons. 1, to stop the run. 2, to put pressure on Michael Vick. Maybe not to sack him, just to keep him in the pocket.
Steve Smith in as a 3rd wide receiver. 2nd and 13. Delayed to McCoy, slips one man, is brought down on a nice tackle again by George Wilson, who led the team last week in tackles. Had a terrific game at Cincinnati.
Well, we're already seeing a little bit of the plan by the Philadelphia Eagles and Andy Reid. Michael Vick, we've seen him outside the pocket twice, and then you hand off one of these little sprint draws to LeSean McCoy or whoever's in the game, because that really does spread this defense. The offensive line, the young rookies inside, the new left tackle, they're going to move Michael Vick around, not let him sit in the pocket till they get into a comfort zone.
Here's 3rd and 11 with 3 wide receivers for the Eagles. Everybody out. Vick gets time and finds his man, but Steve Smith is shoved back. Let's see where they give him forward progress. It was Jason Avant who made the catch, excuse me. The Eagles say he got enough. There's the ball right there. It looks like he's got enough for the first down. Andy Reid making sure. He's checking.
Yeah, they're going to measure this one. It's going to be close. I got to tell you, George Wilson, I want you to watch, excuse me, on the wrong guy there. I'm going too far to the outside. I want you to watch George Wilson here, number 37. Pull the trigger. I'm not sure he got it. Nice read and react by the safety, recognizing he had to come up. I think they got a favorable spot there. Either way, it's a first down. I don't get a vote.
Jason Avant with the reception. Eagles with a big first down.
This is typically now where you might see a shot to the end zone. We're getting a challenge, I think,
yeah,
by Chan Gailey.
Buffalo is challenging the forward progress spot.
Ooh, he might win this one.
Wow. Will they be able to see it on replay? That's the key. Can they overturn it? We'll be right back.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Back in Buffalo, take another look.
Let's keep in mind here that the chains are official because they're on that side, and we stop right there. The yellow line is not official, but this chain marker is, and based on this look, it sure looks like Chan Gailey's going to win this challenge right here. You can see it right here. He gets to about the 39. The ball's got to clearly get to the 38. That does not happen.
After reviewing the play, the player's forward progress only got to the 38 and a half. We will reset the ball. It will be 4th down.
A great play by George Wilson.
With a timeout.
And you were right, as you are so often.
No, not when it comes. Now that comes a challenge. That was probably the one time I was right. Now let's see what Philadelphia does.
I think they go for it.
Yeah.
Michael Vick still on the field.
Yeah, these guys know it, but they got to be ready here because remember, these young kickers, and not only are they dealing with a lot of things in Philly, they're talking about 2 rookie kickers, a punter and a kicker. This is a little outside the range. This is one where they're clearly going to go for it.
He's got to make half a yard. As you heard Walt Coleman say, Eagles 1 for 4 on 4th down conversions this season. Tight formation.
Quick sprint to the left.
Avant motions. Rolling and complete for a first down to Jason Avant again. Down to the 31. Vick coming up big.
That's classic 49er football. Obviously, Andy Reid's going back through Mike Holmgren. He's going to come into motion and then run just this little quick sprint out here. It's called a sprint pass. Michael Vick left-handed. Coming out of it, you win one-on-one on the outside. If he doesn't see it clearly, Michael Vick can pull it down. Classic West Coast offense.
Avant, the 3rd wide receiver, as they go with 3. Off the fake handoff. Vick try to get it to. It's intercepted. George Wilson did it again. Excuse me, it's Reggie Corner. Reggie Corner for the interception on the pass deflected by Alex Carrington. Another big turnover for the Eagles. It's been their bugaboo all season long. Eagles' 11th turnover of the season. And Reggie Corner, who plays that perfect position, he was named properly with the interception. The Bills lead the NFL with 9 interceptions. They were tied coming into today's play for the Green Bay Packers. From the 46, Fred Jackson. into Eagles territory. Brian, let's go back. Take a look at that interception.
Here's the tough thing. Watch Michael Vick. He's going to play fake going to the right. Comes out of it, looks right. Now that means he's going to come back and throw a screen blind. That is tough on a quarterback. The ball gets batted up. He had no idea as they had a team picture of the Buffalo Bill defense staring at him when he came out of it. When you throw a blind screen like that, you do so at risk.
Alex Carrington filling in for Chris Kelsey, 6'5", at the big arms up and made the deflection. Jackson on a nice cutback. He battles for a first down. Time for an update, and for that, let's go back to the studio to Kurt Menefee.
I guess turnover's the story early. First play of the game, Cam Newton gets picked off by the Saints' Patrick Robinson. 2 plays after that, Drew Brees threw a touchdown pass to Jed Collins, and the Saints have a 7-0 lead over the Panthers in the early going. Sam and Brian.
Thanks, Kurt. Saints have won 3 in a row since an opening game loss.
Is there anybody more under the radar than a very good New Orleans Saint team?
Bills with a first down and 2 tight ends in. Jackson goes wide. Chris Hairston gave him a good block. Jackson turned the corner. The rookie, Chris Hairston, starting for the first time in the NFL with Demetrius Bell out. Let's take a look at the Bills on offense. There's Hairston starting at that important left tackle position.
Yeah, and we've already talked about the group outside. Fred Jackson, we've talked about his running ability. Steve Johnson, huge impact for him. This is turning into one of the better wide receivers in the league right now.
Brad Smith is in the game, and he's in the slot as a wide receiver. He caught 2 passes last week. The fullback McIntyre shifts. Here comes Jackson again. Cuts it back. Gets down inside the 25. Eagles' run defense has really struggled this season. Let's take a look at their defense. And on the line, Darryl Tapp is in for the injured Trent Cole, who is out indefinitely right now. Big tackles in the middle, Patterson and Jenkins.
Yeah, and the interesting Brian Roll is starting now at weak side linebacker. A lot on a rookie's plate, particularly given the alignment of the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line.
Juan Castillo is the first-year defensive coordinator, coming over from the offensive line to coach the defense. Jackson didn't get much that time. Maybe a yard down to the 23-yard line.
Well, the Buffalo Bills have been looking at tape or reading the newspaper because they know that this Philadelphia Eagle defense is struggling against the run. They said they wanted to see if they could get the running game cranked up. Not necessarily a heavy play-action team, but that bodes well for Ryan Fitzpatrick. If they can keep this running game cranked up, there's some big play potential off of play-action fakes.
3rd and 5 for the Bills. And a timeout. The Eagles call the timeout. First quarter. Bills and Eagles, no score. Back in Buffalo, the Bills will have a 3rd and a long 5. Thus far, the Bills have kept the ball on the ground. 5 plays, 5 runs. Have to get to the 18 for a first down. Fitzpatrick, everybody out. Pass complete to Donald Jones, slips a man, and another, and gets down inside the 5. The Eagles missed 3 tackles. It's been another one of their problems all season long.
Well, it's just a simple, they're going to clear out for Jones. The tight end swabs it out. Obviously picks the secondary slightly. Now that allows a quick release by Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's his forte right now, getting the ball out of his hands quickly. And you're right, for the Philadelphia Eagles, this is their worst nightmare starting out this way.
On 1st and goal, Jackson cuts back to the goal line. He's in. Touchdown. Five-yard run for Fred Jackson, his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. And for the Eagles, their red zone defense continues to let them down. They've given up points on 48 consecutive drives into the red zone by opponents. Ryan Lindell for the extra point. It's 7-0 Bills. Good running game for Buffalo, led by Fred Jackson. He takes it in. Jared Page talking with Juan Castillo, the defensive coordinator. On the other side, the Bills celebrating, capitalizing off the turnover. The Eagles have given up 5 touchdowns off of turnovers this season.
And this is what you love is the Bills, because it was a team touchdown. Defensive turnover, run the ball the length of the field, right into the end zone. Just the way they scripted it up. Chan Gailey's loving the way his team's starting here at home.
Ryan Lindell to kick it off. Dion Lewis and Riley Cooper deep for the Eagles. Lewis will bring it out 1 yard deep. Looking for some room. There's not much. And he's able to spin up to the 20-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown, Brian.
This is everything that has been the problem for the Eagles. Watch this. They're spiking inside. I want you to stop right there. The end has collapsed. Gerald Page comes up, so they're misaligned, they're not meshed up, and they miss the tackle. That's a lethal combination, particularly inside the 10-yard line. That encapsulates everything that the Philadelphia Eagles have been struggling with.
We talked to defensive coordinator Juan Castillo this week about the missed tackles. He said they've been talking about it, drilling it, working on their tackle circuits, and it hasn't helped thus far. From the 20, 3 wide receivers. Blitz coming. They go the other way, and turning the corner, LeSean McCoy. Wilson stops him, but it's a first down for LeSean McCoy. Across the 30-yard line.
That was just a little trickeration, a direct snap, obviously intercepting the snap to get to the outside. That's the element that obviously Michael Vick gives you. LeSean McCoy, who's so good both as a runner and a receiver. This Buffalo Bills defense, as we said in the open, they need to change up the people and the number of people they're bringing to fill up these rush lanes and to contain Michael Vick.
On the end around, DeSean Jackson is taken down on an outstanding tackle by Jarris Byrd, the safety. Bills fired up tonight. They're fired up in Texas. The Texas Rangers won Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. In a rain-delayed game, a home run by Nelson Cruz set them up. They won it 3-2 in Game 2 tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on Fox. Empty backfield. And everybody out. Vick throwing, trying to thread it through, and George Wilson, another big play as he covered Brent Selleck, the tight end.
Well, and I'm not sure this wasn't a bust on the part of Philadelphia. We had a couple people, Selleck coming inside. They were converging here. There are a lot of bodies in there. That's going to be an awful tight throw. Wilson, we've seen make 2 big plays, a break up there and the big tackle on a 3rd and 1.
3rd and 14. Again out of the shotgun. With 3 wideouts, everybody out. Vick being rushed. Gets rid of it and completes it to Jason Avant. That's been his favorite receiver. He bought a little time and just a bullet to Avant.
Yeah, and this is uncharacteristic of Michael Vick. Normally his big plays come outside. He climbs the pocket so well. And Michael Vick of the old might have pulled that down and run it. He kept his eyes downfield, waiting for Avant to make that final move to get open. Great execution by a pocket quarterback, Michael Vick.
Gain of 21 up to the 49-yard line. Owen Schmidt in at fullback. Dion Lewis getting the carries. And Lewis just across midfield. Ronnie Brown had that weird play at the goal line last week, which was part of the collapse of the Eagles. And Dion Lewis got a lot of the reps this week.
Well, and Ronnie Brown's a veteran. He knew better afterwards. He shouldn't have done that. Dion Lewis is an interesting player. He's a guy like so many teams like to have, that guy that can, he's not necessarily between the tackles guy. He can do a lot for you out of the backfield as well.
LaShawn McCoy back in on 2nd and 8. McCoy slips, wanted to cut back, slipped on the Bills logo. Everything going wrong. Time for an update. Back to Kurt Menefee.
Hey, where have we seen this before? Adrian Peterson with a touchdown run, giving Minnesota a lead. A couple of nice moves. This already his second of the game. Minnesota's on top at home, looking for that first win of the season, 14-0 over the Cards. But Sam and Brian, you know, is not getting a lead Minnesota has a problem with. It's holding it.
That's right, Kurt. Don't go away in that game. The Vikings had led at halftime of their first 4 games and lost them all. Here's a big 3rd down play again. 3rd and 11. Here comes pressure. And the hit on Vick to pass. Intercepted by Wilson. George Wilson is everywhere. The Bills have 2 interceptions. They have a 7-0 lead and the ball. Brian, there's some excitement on the Bills sideline.
Well, the team's pumped up and he's pumped up now. He's loving this. This is a no-name group, like we said. They're having to do it as a team, and the way they're playing right now, George Edwards is loving the total team defense he's playing.
Arthur Moats had the hit on Mike Vick that set up the interception by George Wilson. And here's Jackson, slowed down and stopped for a loss. Good penetration on the play by Brian Roll. Let's go back, Brian, to the play.
See Moats on the outside initially. They got a lot of folks up in there drawing protection. He beats the tackle on the outside edge, a one-on-one block, and a gift from above for Wilson. It's his day. Life is good. Look at the hit on Vick. He's taken his share of them, and this thing just fell right into the hands of Will. He couldn't believe his good luck. Wait a minute. You mean it's behind both of us?
He held on to it, too.
He loved it.
George Wilson has an interception in 3 consecutive games, and the Bills now have 10 interceptions on the season. Fitzpatrick's second pass again to Donald Jones. Fitzpatrick's only thrown 2 passes in the game, both to Jones. And this is into Eagles territory at the 49-yard line. Jared Page and Brian Roll on the stop of Donald Jones. Talk about the Bills receivers. Looks like Jones a little banged up here. But they got a bunch of no-name guys, undrafted guys, low draft picks.
They're a solid group, but they fit perfectly in what Chan Gailey wants to do. Again, the key, Ryan Fitzpatrick getting the ball out of his hands quickly.
Ruvell Martin, number 82, replaces Donald Jones. Fitzpatrick on 3rd down. Blitz coming. Fitzpatrick throws, and a beautiful catch by Stevie Johnson, their leading receiver. It's a 1st down for Buffalo.
You know, Stevie Johnson's one of those guys. We don't see a lot of the AFC, Sam, because obviously we focus more on the NFC. But Ryan Fitzpatrick, who doesn't have a big arm, he anticipates so well. He either gets the ball out so quickly or he makes sure that the timing. Asante Samuel, very rarely up in a press situation. Again, the thing we heard from Ryan Fitzpatrick, if he sees press on Stevie Johnson, that's where he's going. He loves him in press.
1st down at the 40. Out of the shotgun, it's Fred Jackson for a hard 4 yards. Well, let's take a look at the changing Bills. Look at these dollars. That's Chan Gailey, who's got his team tied for 1st. That's Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's established himself as a fine quarterback. Fred Jackson is among the league leaders in rushing. And Stevie Johnson, last season, caught 82 passes, 10 touchdowns in his first year as a full-time player. And this year, they traded Lee Evans, and they've committed to Steve Johnson as the number 1.
Good thing is this young, no-name group doesn't cost a lot of those Bills either.
That's right. Fitzpatrick waiting, throwing for Johnson, incomplete. Well covered by Asante Samuel. That was one-on-one, and Asante Samuel with an excellent job.
Yeah, all this money behind it looks like you on payday, Sam, but you can see right here, Ralph Wilson, the league giveth, and the league taketh away here. At least that's what the players will tell you.
Watch out.
You see a bunch of this 3-1. If that keeps going up, he's going to end up making a whole bunch more of these Bills. I'm talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick here.
The commissioner's here today. He may come up and talk to you about
that. He can't take any more of my Bills like he used to, though.
There's third down. 3rd and 5. Fitzpatrick gets time, throws, almost intercepted. He tried to get it to Ruvel Martin. Good job by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie to step in front of him and break it up and almost pick it off.
Yeah, and that was almost one of the quarterback's worst nightmare, going to a receiver who at the last minute falls down with a charging defender in behind it. That thing might have gone the other way had DRC been able to hold on to it. Just a little bit of a slip by the wide receiver.
Brian Moorman has come on to punt. Deshaun Jackson is back deep inside the 10-yard line. Moorman gets it away. Jackson watches it go into the end zone for a touchback. There's a flag on the play, and we'll check that out. 37-yard punt, but it nets only 17. Let's see what happened on the flag.
This could be interesting. That's a whole lot of discussion for my money. If I'm Andy Reid, I'm a little nervous right now. They're coming over to talk to me.
Donald Jones is heading for the locker room, injured a couple of plays back on a reception. Walt Coleman talking to Andy Reid and maybe giving him the option here.
That would indicate that against Buffalo, he's going to be able to tack it on if he chooses to.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask, number 38 of the kicking team. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the end of the play. First down, Philadelphia.
That's the fullback, the big fullback, Corey McIntyre, called for the penalty. Eagles with the ball for the 3rd time in the game when we come back. Back in Buffalo, sold out. Ralph Wilson Stadium earlier today. The commissioner meeting with young fans, season ticket holders as well, answering questions. And great to see Commissioner Roger Goodell on hand. The owner of the Buffalo Bills, Ralph Wilson, not here, hasn't been able to attend a game yet. He's recovering from hip surgery and rehabbing, and we wish him well. Eagles start from the 35-yard line. Vick being rushed, gets rid of it to LaShawn McCoy, and he's wrestled down by Nick Barnett. Barnett has been a good free agent addition coming from the Green Bay Packers. Was injured late last season when he had broke his wrist and required surgery. And he's one of the leaders on that Buffalo defense.
Well, the pickup of Marcel Darius, Dwan Edwards, who played for me in Baltimore, Kyle Williams, this is a good interior group for this Buffalo Bills defense.
Owen Schmidt in at fullback. Off the play fake. Vick throws, completes to Deshaun Jackson. Down to the Bills' 46-yard line.
And this is the kind of big plays. Deshaun Jackson just doing a deep cross here. Short motions in, down the middle of the field. What makes this happen is a solid play fake by Michael Vick that steps the linebackers up, that allows you to get the ball in behind it. The more the Eagles can run, the more Michael Vick can play action pass. That's where most of his big plays come from, of course, unless he's rolling outside the pocket and doing what Michael Vick does.
Being 15 on that last play, hands off inside, out goes McCoy as he bounced it outside, and he's run out of bounds. Just inside the 40-yard line, Drayton Florence is starting at cornerback in place of Terrence McGee, who's just making his way back to full health. We're winding down to the end of the first quarter. The Philadelphia Eagles with their 3rd possession of the game. The first 2 ended in interceptions, and the Bills cashed in on one of those for a touchdown. End of the first quarter, Buffalo 7, Philadelphia nothing. Sam Rosen, the coach Brian Billick, and Laura Oakman back in Buffalo, where the Eagles still trying to figure things out. They're down 7-0. As we get set to start the second quarter, Michael Vick has thrown 10 passes, 7 for 10, but 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and the turnovers continue to plague the Eagles. But I tell you what, they're responding well here. They've kind of weathered the storm with the early turnover, the touchdown by Buffalo. They could certainly use some type of score here.
2nd and 3 at the Bills 39. 3 wide receivers. Blitz coming. Vick looking for running room, and he's brought down. Ankle tackle by Merriman. The ball came loose. I think they're ruling him down. They have ruled Mike Vick down, and he gets up very slowly on the play.
No, he's clearly down. The knee and the ball came up afterwards. But I tell you what, Michael Vick, and we know about how vulnerable he is outside the pocket. That's his game. He's hobbling around now. I worry about the cumulative hits. Wait a minute. They're saying going the other way. This is going to bring about a review.
The officials talked it over, and they've ruled a fumble recovered by Brian Scott of the Bills.
Now this is going to be reviewed by Andy Reid. Knees down, ball hits. I don't know quite what they saw in conferring with one another, but Andy Reid is clearly going to throw the flag. The flag's already out.
Yeah. And the Eagles have challenged. Meanwhile,
is challenging the ruling on the field of a fumble.
Michael Vick limping on the sideline. Vince Young is the backup.
Quite sure what they were conferring about here. It's as clear cut as you can see. The knees are down, the elbows down. He's got possession of the ball, and then it comes out. So somebody saw something when they got together, but every view of it says that this is going to be.
After reviewing the play, the runner's left knee was down prior to the fumble. It'll be 3rd and 3 at the 39-yard line. Philadelphia will not be charged a timeout.
Initially, the first official ruled it down, and then they had a conference and overruled him. That was a surprising call.
That's what they should do, is confer. I'm not sure what whomever said, wait a minute, no, I think it came out, saw, but clearly it wasn't.
Now, Michael Vick limping a little bit, having some problems putting weight on that right leg. You have to wonder whether his mobility will be limited now.
Well, and as I started to say, it's the cumulative hits on Michael Vick that concern me. He's a tough guy. That's his game. But he's already had the head concussion. He's already had the hand. He's already had a finger. Now, whether it's the thigh or the ankle or whatever it is, his right leg goes down here. Maybe the knee lands right on the knee. He's a tough guy. He's going to continue to play. But it's this accumulative hit on Michael Vick that concerns me over a 16-game season.
Here's a big 3rd down play for the Eagles. Have to get to the 36 for a 1st down. Everybody out. Vick starts to move and throws deep. Downfield for Maclin, off his left hand, incomplete. And Michael Vick went down.
Personal foul, rubbing the passer, 57, defense, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
The rookie Danny Batten in his first NFL game.
This is a late hit to the head. It's not coming off, leading with the head. That's not only going to bring about a penalty, it's probably going to get a fine. Every opportunity to fall off of that, clearly head-to-head, it is going to get called every single time.
Danny Batten, his first NFL start. First-year man out of South Dakota State. 6th-round draft pick last year. So the penalty puts the Eagles down at the Bills 24. Owen Schmidt in at fullback. Off the play fake. Vick sets up, throws short, and completes it to Jeremy Maclin. Maclin brought down at the 17-yard line.
Well, Jeremy Maclin and Deshaun Jackson give them an excellent 1-2 punch at receiver. Obviously, Deshaun Jackson, this guy can run. He's got the big threat. Jeremy Maclin, you don't realize how big a receiver he is. He's going to be that intermediate guy that is so good after the catch.
Riley Cooper and Jason Avant in as receivers to the left side. Vick checking off.
This should go to a run.
Blitz coming. Sean McCoy gets outside to the goal line, and he is out of bounds, just short. Looks like he's out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
This is a classic 2 plays in the huddle called. Michael Vick sees the right number count. I don't have a lot of guys in this box to stop the run. Kill, 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 which goes to the pre-designed outside run. Made the right call at the right time.
First and goal for the Eagles at the 2-yard line, as they look to put the ball in the end zone. Jackson motions for Sean McCoy, fighting his way down toward the goal line. May have gotten half a yard on the play.
Well, for Philadelphia, obviously a big part of being successful in the red zone, Sam, is the ability to run the ball. Obviously you can't turn it over. That's been an issue for them. But good teams, the teams that spread it out. Buffalo is also one of those teams. One of the limitations is the ability to be physical inside the red zone. That's what Philadelphia is going to try to do here.
Owen Schmidt is in at fullback. The play fake. Vick looking, finds a man wide open. Touchdown to Jeremy Maclin. Good patience shown by Michael Vick, waiting for Maclin to come open. And the Eagles get on the board and look to tie it.
Well, nice. Again, what we say, it's off the play-action pass where Michael Vick tends to be the most lethal. Buffalo overreacting to the run, everybody flowing by, leaving a wide-open touchdown. As I said, the Eagles have withstood the emotional storm early. You've got to be impressed with the way they've responded here.
Extra point by Alex Henry is good. The Eagles have come back to tie it. Third touchdown reception of the season for Jeremy Maclin. Buffalo Bills defense gets beaten on a 65-yard drive. Marty Mornhinweg, the offensive coordinator, talking with Jason Avant and Mike Vick. And the Eagles prove, Brian, if they hold on to the football, they're dangerous.
Yeah, anything but a turnover, and it's a good thing for the Eagles. That's a good drive for them.
Henry's kickoff taken by Brad Smith 1 yard deep in the end zone. And Smith brings it back across the 20 up to the 23-yard line. Let's go back, take a look at that play.
Yeah, watch what the motion does as he comes in here. Look right here. This creates confusion. They're pointing to one another. You got him, I'll take him. They obviously don't have it right. Everybody overplays to the outside. That leaves a wide open. And right here you can see Wilson. He's going, no, guys, we got to draw this up. Look, this goes, you go here. I got number 1, you got number 2. We got to get this thing sorted out.
Mike Vick, he's taken some hits in this game. That comes through with a touchdown pass, his 7th of the season. Now Ryan Fitzpatrick, 3 for 5 passing as they kept it on the ground to Fred Jackson. And a good run. Gain of 9 on the play. Join the NFL's A Crucial Catch campaign in the fight against breast cancer. Visit NFL.com/auction to bid now on authentic, game-worn NFL pink products. All proceeds benefit the American Cancer Society. Niagara Falls, Friday night.
How much pink water you got to throw in there to turn that pink? Or do you think that's lights?
It's the lights.
Oh, okay.
But it's good. Straight ahead for a couple of yards and a first down. Time for an update, and for that, as always, we go to the studio to Kurt Menefee.
All right, thanks a lot there, Sam. How about Marshawn Lynch in beast mode already for the Seahawks? 47 yards on this run against the Giants, knocked out at the 1, took it in from a yard out on the next play. 2 plays, 48 yards, all Lynch, and a touchdown, and a 7-point lead. Sam and Brian.
That's Jarris Bird on the table. Giants can't stand prosperity. Tied for first place in the NFC East, having trouble with Seattle at home. Jackson trying to find some running room, uses some power as he pushes his way up close to the 40-yard line. Boy, Fred Jackson is quite a story. This is a guy out of a Division III school, Coe College, was signed to the practice squad in 2006. And here he is, one of the leading running backs in the NFL.
Yeah, amazing. And I got $5 says you don't know who else came from Coe College.
I don't.
Marv Levy.
Really?
How about that?
No wonder the Bills scouted him.
Exactly. He's been waiting for a guy to come out of Coe College.
You win the $5, by the way.
Okay.
On 2nd and 5, Fitzpatrick crowded, throws high. Try to hit David Nelson, a tall wide receiver out of Florida. Another one of those undrafted wide receivers that we talked about for the Bills.
Yeah, this is a group that, again, it's kind of no name, and you got to give the Bills credit for coming up with these guys. Now, on the flip side, you got to come up with these guys because, frankly, the Bills haven't drafted real well. They've got one offensive starter. They've had 14 first-round picks since 2000. Only one is starting them for them on offense. So you give them credit for going out and finding these guys and filling in.
In motion, Stevie Johnson. Fitzpatrick sets up the screen to Fred Jackson. 2 blockers ahead of him. And here he goes. Jackson turns it into a big gainer. And he's brought down at the 11-yard line.
Beautifully designed play by Chan Gailey and the Buffalo Bills. It's just a little sprint screen. You're going to see everybody going off to this side. He sets, heads, excuse me, not. I thought he went to the left with that. Just a beautifully executed screen. He waited long enough for everybody to get down the field, and then this is what Jackson does. A little bit of an upright runner, but this guy's got a smooth gait to him that he's beautiful to watch in the open field.
49-yard gain on the screen pass down to the Eagles' 11-yard line. It's Jackson turning the corner. Excuse me, that's C.J. Spiller in the lineup. Getting a chance with Jackson going to the sideline after the long run after the catch. There's Fred Jackson.
This guy is impressive. He reminds me a little bit of Robert Smith, who I had in Minnesota. A little bit upright. He's every bit of 6'1". Maybe not as fast as a Robert Smith, but his ability, even though as an upright runner, to get through the line, get into the second level, as we saw there, he's just so beautiful to watch maneuver through the open field.
2nd and 5 for the Bills. Naaman Roosevelt is in at wide receiver number 18. He comes in motion. Fitzpatrick fires, touchdown, David Nelson. What a response by the Bills. They answer right back and regain the lead, and the big play burns the Eagles again.
Yeah, Sam, I talked about the way the Eagles had emotionally responded to the early going in this game. For the Buffalo Bills to turn right around and do what they just did, that's huge for this Chan Gailey coach team.
Ryan Lindell. The extra point is good. 7 plays, 77 yards, and a 5-yard touchdown pass. Fitzpatrick to Nelson.
This game is sponsored by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
Back in Buffalo, Fred Jackson, 49-yard screen pass and run. Set up the 2-yard touchdown pass from Ryan Fitzpatrick to David Nelson. Fitzpatrick's 10th touchdown pass this season. Nelson, 2nd touchdown reception this season. Dion Lewis and Riley Cooper deep to receive Ryan Lindell's kick. Lewis out of the end zone at the 2. And he slips one man, finds some room, and then he's brought down as he crosses the 20. Ruvel Martin was there, along with Arthur Moats, who helped blow it up on the return. Bills are celebrating a 14-7 lead. Ryan Fitzpatrick along the sideline after throwing the touchdown pass to put the Bills in the lead. The Eagles secondary still trying to figure things out. They're giving up 11 touchdown passes. Eagles start from the 22. What do you think here, Brian?
Well, they got to come up with a big play, normally off a play action with Michael Vick. But they've got to counter the big play of the Buffalo Bills at some point in this series.
Off the fake. Vick gets hit as he throws. It's intercepted. Nick Barnett. Touchdown. Another Eagles turnover. The Bills capitalized with their third interception of the game.
Well, you're just going to see a jailbreak inside, but right here, he turns his back to the defense with a play fake. All of a sudden, you got a guy in your face right now. You got to get rid of the ball. I'm not sure he saw the linebacker at all. Anytime you turn your back to the defense, you come out a little blind.
Kelvin Shepard, the rookie out of LSU, with the big hit. And that's the second time Vick has been hit as he threw that led to an interception.
Well, we said there needed to be a big play. That wasn't what I had in mind when I called for the big play by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ryan Lindell for the extra point, and the Bills have a 21-7 lead. And Mike Vick continues to take a pounding. This November, Fox Sports steps into the octagon with an epic heavyweight title fight as undefeated world champion Cain Velasquez squares off with the #1 ranked contender in the world, Junior Dos Santos, in the must-see live event you can only catch on Fox. Dos Santos versus Velasquez for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World, live Saturday, November 12th on Fox.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sam, what Andy Reid needs right now, a minute ago I said, what do they need? A big play. They needed to counter the big plays that Buffalo had made. Right now, he needs a well-orchestrated drive. He needs to calm down his team. A 10-play scoring drive would be just what the doctor orders, because they have to show some consistency. They have to calm down. I'll take the big play, but right now they need to calm down a little bit and show that they're under control.
Tying a career high or a career low with 3 interceptions thrown by Mike Vick. Buffalo's defense, third game in a row in which they've had an interception returned for a touchdown. They have become very opportunistic. The secondary has played well. Dion Lewis and Riley Cooper deep to receive Ryan Lindell's kick. Short kick taken by Riley Cooper. Cooper bounces off the pile, and he's shoved back. They'll give him forward progress to the 27-yard line. And right now, the Bills are fired up.
Well, Michael Vick right now he's a veteran. He's been here before. He's not going to be shook up by the 3 interceptions. He's like a cornerback. You got to have a short memory. But by the same token, he also has to know another turnover would be a death knell here. They need a well-orchestrated drive. He needs to definitely see what he throws now.
How much of the problems he's having do you attribute to the changes on the offensive line?
Well, I mean, he turned his back to it on that last one, and yes, should somebody of the interior picked up that inside linebacker? You got to believe so.
Vick works out of the shotgun. Gets protection and completes it. Up to the 30-yard line, a short pickup of 3 on the play to Clay Harbor, who's in at tight end, the second-year man out of Missouri State. A good receiver, and they have got some plays in for him. They really like Clay Harbor.
Yeah, they do, and they haven't been able to get the ball to Brent Selleck the way they wanted to. We talked coming into the first game that they wanted to get the tight end more involved. That would show that Michael Vick truly was maturing as a quarterback. Just hasn't happened so far this season.
On 2nd and 7, with 3 wide receivers in. Bills come with a blitz. Vick steps up, gets a couple of yards, and takes another hit. That's one from George Wilson.
George Wilson's having a huge game here. Nice job containing Michael Vick when he steps up. The key is you got to have someone there to tackle him when he does step up. You don't let him get outside the pocket. And right now, Buffalo is just dialing up the right calls. They seem to have the right people in the right place at the right time doing the right thing.
71,000 in Ralph Wilson Stadium, and they're on their feet. Timeout called by the Eagles as they try to pull themselves together. Well, we'd like to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world, watching today's broadcast in 175 countries on AFN, the American Forces Network. Thank you for all you do. We hope you're enjoying today's telecast. And from all of us at Fox, we can tell you we think about you every day and pray for your safe return home.
I got to tell you, Sam, you and I are on the road a great deal. One of the best things about having to spend all that time in airports is watching people respond to men and women in the armed services that are there in uniform. It's almost chilling anytime you're in the airport and you see the gratitude that people have for these young people.
Here are the Eagles on 3rd and 6. Blitz coming. Vick's batted away. George Wilson again. He was blitzing from the outside.
I'm not sure we don't have a few people in number 37 out there, because this guy's all over the place. He's intercepted passes down the field. He's tackling Michael Vick as he steps up, and now all of a sudden he's out in the flat. Now he's coming off the edge and knocking the balls down. I'm going to knock him down a little bit, little bit more presence. He might have had that in his hands. He might have had another score, or had a score.
He's got 8 tackles in the game. C.J. Spiller is back deep in his own 25 to receive the punt from Chaz Henry. Short one, wobbles toward the sideline, takes a big bounce and goes out of bounds. And the Bills will take over at their 34-yard line. It's been a big day for the Bills secondary.
Yeah, when we talk about interceptions by Michael Vick, you know, you tend to focus on the quarterback. There's a lot of reasons for these interceptions. A tip ball, he gets knocked down. There again, he gets hit after turning his back to the secondary. I'm not trying to absolve Michael Vick of responsibility, but there's a lot of reasons these interceptions come about.
Yeah. Well, the tip ball, certainly Alex Carrington had a hand in that. Bills leading the NFL with 11 interceptions, 3 today. Fitzpatrick. Fred Jackson gets a good block up front, tripped up. Good tackle by Nnamdi Asomugha. Let's talk about Nnamdi Asomugha. It seems like thus far he really hasn't stood out at all on this defense. He was the big free agent signing for the Eagles in the offseason.
Yeah, and to be a bit critical here, I'm going to put on my coach's cap. You spend all that money to get a Nnamdi Asomugha. Michael Strahan talked about it in the show before the game, that I don't know that they're using him in the way that his talents dictate. They need to let him play more man, let him press up. I'm not sure they're using this entire secondary in the way that their talents dictate.
On the Wildcat, that's Brad Smith looking for running room, and he was tripped up. The Eagles had it read very well. Loss of a yard. Nnamdi Asomugha comes in and makes the tackle there.
Yeah, a little change up here. You can just see on the type frame here. Now they're just going to try to change things up a little bit with the Wildcat. I'm not a big fan of the Wildcat.
Why not?
Well, it doesn't do anything. You don't see it. It's very rarely successful. Nah, it's not a bad change up in certain situations, but you're basically telling the defense what you're doing.
They send 3 wide receivers to the left. C.J. Spiller, one of them, goes in motion. And on 3rd down, the quick outside to Spiller. And he's brought down by Asomugha. That was a good series for Nnamdi Asomugha. He made 3 tackles on that series.
And that was a good series for the Philadelphia Eagle defense. They desperately needed a 3 and out by the Buffalo Bills to show that they had calmed down, to put the ball back in the hands of the offense. The toughest thing for an offense to do after sputtering like this is to sit on the sideline. We got a little more than 5 minutes left in the second quarter. The Eagles have shown a little bit of life in one drive. Outside of that, they don't have a lot of continuity.
Eagles have 2 men deep to receive this punt from Brian Moorman.
False start, 82, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
That's Ruvell Martin, the wide receiver, called for the penalty, sets the Bills back to the 35-yard line. So the Eagles sending 2 men deep, Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin, the 2 top wide receivers. I think the Bills are recognizing that. We're pointing downfield as they anticipate a return. Moorman's kick is high. Jackson at the 29 gets by 1 man, then he's brought down at the 35-yard line by Ruvell Martin. Tomorrow, experience television's biggest adventure. Terra Nova takes you where no other series has gone before, 85 million years into the past. I wasn't even there, Brian. The LA Times calls it the most exciting show of the fall season. An all-new Terra Nova tomorrow at 8/7 Central on Fox. How'd you like to go back 85 million years? Figure that one out.
I'd like to go back just 6 months. You know, I'd like to buy all the time I can get, man. Well, again, now with just under 5 minutes, I think the priority for Philadelphia, you have to have a little bit of pace about you here, but you'd like to hold on to this ball through the rest of the half and get into scoring position just to get some continuity going in at halftime.
Vick drops back, steps up and takes off. Good run by Mike Vick, and he's taken down hard by Jarris Byrd, but he gets to the Bills' 43-yard line. 22-yard run for Michael Vick.
Well, 2-man defense is excellent here to make him hold right here, but right now he's going to trail. He's going to trail. They've got their backs to Michael Vick, and that is always a dangerous thing to do with a Michael Vick. 2-man or man coverage is great until you turn your back to a guy like Michael Vick.
Bills are playing their safeties pretty deep. Dion Lewis in the backfield now with Michael Vick, takes the handoff and gets across the 40 and down to the 37-yard line. So the Eagles move quickly into scoring position. Michael Vick last week rushed for 75 yards. He is closing in on the all-time record for most yards rushing by a quarterback, right behind Randall Cunningham, a man you coached in Minnesota.
Yeah, Randall was a joy to have. We had to actually push him out of the pocket when I had him in Minnesota. He really was a threat, obviously, for us like he was with the Philadelphia Eagles. Michael Vick's going to break that record either today or next Sunday against the Redskins.
Vick goes back, throws, low pass, and it's ruled incomplete. Jeremy Maclin, the intended receiver.
And this one looks like it bounced off the carpet there just a little bit. I don't know if that's going to bring about a challenge. Looks like it hit it. That's one of those, the guys up in the booth are yelling, challenge it, and then you see the replay and it bounced 3 times. I'm going, what are you looking at, man? I mean, you don't get a lot of help when you go to make those type of challenges.
3rd and 4 for the Eagles. This is 4-down territory. Everybody out. Vick being rushed. His pass is batted away. Jarris Byrd knocking it away. Time for an update, and for that, back to Curt Menefee.
Carolina against the Saints, running the option. How about Cam Newton with the pitch to DeAngelo Williams? He takes it 69 yards. First score by a running back in Carolina all season long. Pulls them a little bit closer, 17-13. Sam and Brian, not only did Fred Jackson and Marv Levy go to Coe College, but I did too. Come on.
Get out.
How about
Curt
that?
Menefee, Coe College man.
Goodness gracious.
Let's make him an All-America from Coe College, Curt Menefee.
I'll give you another chance to get your $5. What's the mascot's name for Coe College? I'll let you think about that for a while.
All right. It's a punt. Chaz Henry. High kick. Bounces into the end zone for a touchback. This is a sad weekend in the NFL because it has lost one of the greats, Hall of Famer Al Davis, a man you can simply say just loved football, but he helped put the AFL on the map and helped the AFL join the NFL and become a bigger and better league.
And impacted this league at every level. That's probably the thing for me that was most unique about Al Davis. He was an assistant coach, he was a head coach, he was the owner and general manager, he was commissioner of this league. I don't know that anybody has had as comprehensive a feel or understanding for this game as Al Davis.
He passed away yesterday at the age of 82. The Bills starting from the 20. Fred Jackson tripped up and taken down for a loss. Let's go down to the field. Laura Oakman standing by. Laura.
Nnamdi Asomugha was also sharing his memories with me with Al Davis, who were very close. He told me his favorite memory of Al is the same one so many others share, how he gave so many people opportunities who would have never had one, and that includes Nnamdi, who Al drafted and moved from safety to corner. He said, it is because of Al Davis that I'm in the position I'm in, literally and figuratively.
Thanks, Laura. Part of the great legacy of Al Davis. From the 18, 2nd and 12. Fitzpatrick, shovel pass to Fred Jackson. The chase is on, he's shoved out of bounds at the 25-yard line. He picked up 7 on the play.
This is the same as a draw, this little shuffle pass. Obviously, you get the protection up, and now you just toss underneath, minimal risk. It's an incomplete pass if someone bats it or it hits the ground. The great thing about the Buffalo Bills offense right now, in a 2-minute situation, this is just standard operating procedure for them. They operate out of this so effectively, so efficiently for the whole game. This is no big change for them to get into a 2-minute situation.
The Eagles have used the timeout, and they are out of timeouts here in the first half. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, Kurt, Terry, Michael, and Jimmy in the studio. They'll check out what's going on in Carolina and the Raiders in the aftermath of the passing of the great Al Davis. It's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
You know, I was fortunate enough, Sam, a couple years ago, we had a Raiders game, and Mr. Davis allowed me to come up, and I sat with him for about 3 hours after we were done watching practice, and to sit with Al Davis and just talk about this game. It was absolutely incredible. One of those memories I'll hold on to for the rest of my life.
The Bills go empty backfield on this 3rd and 5 play. Have to get to the 30-yard line for a first down. Quarterback sneak. How about that? Ryan Fitzpatrick saw no one in the middle. Took the snap and gets a first down with a 9-yard run.
Well, they saw something in the film, obviously, and in this situation, look, I can't find a defender. Tell you what, how about you and I just sneak this for the first down?
First down, 2-minute warning, and the Bills with a big lead. Jackson and Macklin both to the left side. With 8 seconds remaining in the half. Vick gets time. He's waiting. He's waiting. He's throwing to the end zone, throws it away. And there, let's see, the clock says 0.
The officials have to make the determination here. When is the ball officially incomplete?
Did they run out of time?
That is the end.
Michael Vick waited too long. Just what you said, Brian.
Just unbelievable. You need a quick decision if you're going to attempt to play inside of 8 seconds. Michael Vick's veteran enough should know better than that.
Disappointment for the Eagles. Michael Vick intercepted 3 times, hit a couple of times, a deflected pass, but the Bills able to capitalize and put 21 points on the board. George Wilson, the safety, with a big first half, an interception and a return for a touchdown. Ryan Fitzpatrick threw a touchdown pass, and that big 49-yard screen pass burned the Eagles.
And if you're the Buffalo Bills, you just got a reprieve from the governor. You're in charge of this game. Things are going good. All of a sudden you throw the interception. Philadelphia's in position maybe to get some points. You've dodged a bullet now. You're energized going into the huddle or into the halftime locker room. Right here, it's just, okay, I understand wanting to take a shot, but right now it's got to be depth, Shuffle, shuffle, throw. You can't wait. At this point, it was going to be all or nothing. Ran out of time, and Michael Vick needed to know better. You had time for a shuffle, shuffle, throw, and nothing more.
Michael Vick, 11 for 20, 113 yards, 1 touchdown pass in the first half. His 100th touchdown pass of his career, but 3 interceptions, and those turnovers the biggest factor in the game. The Bills let a lead get away, a halftime lead get away in Cincinnati last week. The Eagles have not been good in the second half of games recently.
Well, this is the Fred Jackson that you absolutely love, the fluidity. Here he comes back to one of his big tight ends, hitting on all cylinders for the Buffalo Bills.
Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Here's how the first half ended. We talked about this, Brian.
Yeah, and right here you can see 8 seconds on the clock. This sums up where Philadelphia is right now. Just not totally self-aware of what the situation. Michael Vick holding onto the ball entirely too long. All you needed was one less step, one less shuffle to give your team a chance to at least attempt a field goal.
They try an onside kick to start the second half, but the recovery made by the Bills gives them good field position in Eagles territory. So Andy Reid coming out as special teams coordinator, Bobby April, trying to get something going.
Well, you see, the question is this a team, the Buffalo Bills, that turns and runs out? Boy, they had something. They knew something was up, because you could see right there, Andre Davis came screaming up, saw the hole in front of the kicker, and realized they were a man short.
And the ball was made ready for play.
The officials did not signal the ball ready for play. So the Eagles jumped the gun, and they benefit from the situation.
They dodge a bullet there, because that's exactly right. The referee's the one that signals it for play, that then gets communicated along the line, and he gets blocked out. Yeah, now he doesn't, obviously, it's a correct call, but you're right. There's something inherently unfair about a team that jumps the gun. What would have been worse if they'd have gotten the onside kick. Now Andy Reid would have been livid that it wasn't signaled for play, but clearly they dodged a bullet there.
I don't know if Andy Reid was ready for the play.
He didn't want to give anybody an indication that that's what they were doing.
Brad Smith is deep to receive the kick.
I don't think they're going to do it again here.
No, I don't think so either. I'm with you.
Is that going out on a limb saying that?
That's it. And there it goes. Smith, 4 yards deep, and decides to stay there. Let's go down to the field, find out what happened at halftime. Let's go to Laura Oakman.
Thanks, Sam. I talked to Chan Gailey. The Bills are going to be without wide receiver Donald Jones with an ankle injury for the rest of the game. Coach Gailey said he wants to run the ball, get it moving. We cannot settle for field goals against this team. We have to punch it in. After last week's loss to Cincinnati, giving up the lead, giving up the game, he said the message in the locker room was simple. Don't look at that scoreboard. We have 30 more minutes.
Thanks, Laura. Andy Reid declines to talk to the media at halftime when his team is behind at halftime. What do you think he would have said as we watch Fred Jackson turn the corner? And he was tripped up and falls down as he crosses the 40. An outstanding run for Fred Jackson up to the 42-yard line. 22-yard pickup.
They ran the ball well in the first half, and they're starting here. Stop right there. Look at the nice job getting the edge right here. Then the receivers, anytime you get an outside run, the receivers have to do a good job. Again, somewhat of a missed tackle. You can scheme it up all you want. While Castillo can for the Philadelphia Eagles. You got to tackle well in the open field.
15 carries, 80 yards for Fred Jackson in the game. Stevie Johnson in motion. And it's Jackson again. Takes it outside, and he's brought down as he crosses the 45-yard line. Been quite a day for Fred Jackson.
You know what, this guy, again, he's a bit of an upright runner, but he's got that burst to him, that little bit of wiggle for a big man. I always worry about a man that runs upright like this, taking a beating, but he's got enough subtle wiggle to him. He never seems to get direct shots on him.
Last season, The Bills drafted C.J. Spiller, number 9 overall.
Yeah, and Chan Gailey said he's kind of the odd man out because how do you put C.J. Spiller in when Jackson's playing this well?
Oh, he's playing so well. Jackson cuts it back, and that time he's hit hard. Good tackle on the play by the safety, Jared Page. Now the Eagles are desperately in need of a big play from their defense. They had one early in the first half.
Well, you asked me what did Andy Reid tell his team at halftime. You know, it's real simple. There's only so much you can do at halftime. Everybody talks too much about the adjustments the team makes at halftime. You have very enough time to go to the bathroom and say, hey, guys, this is what we've got to do in the second half. Basically, we've got to tackle better, and we can't turn the ball over. That's got to be the main message Andy Reid has delivered to them.
Bills have controlled Jason Babin, who leads the NFL with 7 sacks. Fitzpatrick to Naaman Roosevelt, and he's got the ball at the 45-yard line, just short of the 45. Roosevelt, a local product from Buffalo, out of the University of Buffalo in his second year. And made the team, gotten a chance to play with the injuries to Roscoe Parrish, who is IR'd for the season, and now Donald Jones now.
Well, I want you to watch him coming from the outside here. This is a man day's work here now, because he took a shot and he knew he was going to get a shot.
One of the Eagles down. Jared Page, the safety, being checked out. Oh, that's some good stuff. There are the wings. There are your hot wings.
Oh, boy, don't show me that now, man. I got a half of the work to do here now.
Bills with a first down at the Eagles 45. Fitzpatrick connects with Naaman Roosevelt again. And Roosevelt inside the 30-yard line of the 29.
Boy, this is as simple as a screwdriver. Raise up, just a quick slant, clear out underneath. The safety hangs back, hit the inside man. If he jumps the inside man, hit the guy in behind it. Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know, these are little accurate throws here that allows a receiver to catch the ball and get yards after the catch. That is a sign of a good, accurate quarterback.
Jackson stopped, went outside, and has got a nice gain inside the 25, down to the 23. Jamar Chaney, the middle linebacker, takes him down, a gain of 6 on the play.
Another missed tackle off the edge. Watch into here. They come in on the outside. He just kind of jump cuts to the side. You have him pinned in. You can't let a man get outside of you when you bring pressure from the outside.
Eagles have Jaquay Parker in at right defensive end. He missed the last 2 games with a high ankle sprain. Jared Page is back in after being out for a couple of plays when he was shaken up. C.J. Spiller slips one man and another. Goes down the sideline. He's out of bounds inside the 15-yard line, right at the 15. 2 misses again. Nate Allen, the safety, and Nnamdi Asomugha both missed him.
When you are the outside defender and you're bringing pressure as they see here, okay, you get blocked inside, so be it. You can't get pushed inside if you're the end defender, and then the second guy, you have got to keep outside leverage. You've got to push a running back into your help, which is inside on the defense. You can't let him get outside.
First down for the Bills at the Eagles 15. Out of the shotgun. Shovel pass to Spiller. And he stopped short of the line of scrimmage. That one never got going. Spiller's got great speed. As we mentioned, the high draft pick out of Clemson. Last year, first round pick, number 9 overall. And they envisioned him as being their number 1 running back. But Fred Jackson has played so well, Spiller has a hard time getting touches.
Yeah, some people question taking him with the 9th pick. They weren't sure he was an every down back because of his size. The Bills felt like he was, that he could be an every down back because that's a heavy price to pay for just a return man and a 3rd down back. But you can't play him the way Jackson's playing.
Fred Jackson back in and is split out. Empty backfield. Fitzpatrick throws and connects. Stevie Johnson down to the 5-yard line. It's a first down for the Bills. And you saw the graphic. They have scored points inside the red zone, 18 consecutive possessions.
Well, just a little quick out route. He actually, on the tackle, you're going to see Chaney wrap him up, spin him around, and actually kind of throw him for the first down. they're kind of the anti-Eagles in that way right now because they are so efficient in the red zone where the Eagles have struggled.
Brad Smith is in the game. Juan Castillo, the defensive coordinator, calling in the plays. Fitzpatrick splits out to the right. They're in the Wildcat with Brad Smith. And C.J. Spiller. It's Smith carrying. Pushing a pile. He's in.
Like I said, I love the Wildcat.
I was going to say.
It's my favorite formation.
Occasionally it works, and that time it did.
In that situation, put it right in the hand of a guy like Brad Smith and get right downhill. This guy can also throw the ball, so if you're going to run the Wildcat, this is the guy to do it. Again, the nice thing about that with backs on either side, you can run an ISO or a straight lead play on either side. Great job down on the goal line.
Brad Smith with his first touchdown as a Buffalo Bill. Ryan Lindell's extra point is good. The Buffalo Bills lead the Eagles 28-7. Atmosphere up here in Buffalo. The fans loving their Bills, who have the big lead, a 3-1 record. We're joined by the commissioner of the National Football League, Roger Goodell, up to speak with the fans today. But we want to talk to him a little bit about the passing of Al Davis, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here.
Right now, the Buffalo Bills, it's all about the Bills and their play and the excitement on the field. And a 28-7 lead. What do you think, Brian? If you're the Eagles, what are you thinking right now?
Well, right now, I just need one drive. I don't need it all in one play. I just need to show that we can function on the road in this atmosphere. Just give me one solid scoring drive. I'll even take 3 points at this point.
Lindell to kick it off. Lewis from the 1. Runs into a pile and is brought down at the 20-yard line. And as we mentioned earlier, the passing of Al Davis hurts everyone in the NFL. But, Commissioner, you know him. You've worked with him. Tell us the legacy he leaves for the NFL.
Well, there are not many people who have contributed to the NFL the way Al Davis did, as a commissioner, as an owner, as a coach, as a general manager. I think that's a standard that will not soon be met, and he leaves a tremendous legacy, and his passion for the game was unmatched.
Yeah, Al, we're going to look at the play here first.
Vic to put it up. Here comes pressure from George Wilson. There's that Wilson character again.
The game he's played, isn't it?
Yeah, Commissioner, I guess we're talking about Al Davis. His comprehensive knowledge of the game. This guy was an assistant coach, a head coach, a general manager, a commissioner at one point. That had to be a heck of a resource for the league, having that reference for him.
It really was. And for me in particular, he always was willing to share that. And I think one of the things that's unspoken is how he contributed so much off the field in diversity and getting young people in positions and being very successful, and that's because of his knowledge and the way he shared it with others.
Yeah, always a joy to sit around and listen to Al Davis talk about the league, talk about, obviously, his perspective. Not always in agreement with the league sometimes, but a healthy debate, at least.
But, that's what makes the NFL great, in my opinion, is that there are people who have different views. We have 32 clubs and 32 different views. And we come together and we make the best decision for the league. And Al always contributed to that, and he wasn't afraid to speak up when he didn't agree.
Absolutely.
Any special memorial in his honor coming down the road?
Well, we had a moment of silence before the game, and we'll have that in all stadiums this weekend. And in addition, I think the Raiders will be wearing a special patch for the rest of the season.
Thank you for joining us, Commissioner.
Great to see you here. Great to be with you. Coach, good to always be with you.
The NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell joining us, having a great day. He's having a fun day sitting in the middle of the Bills fans. They've treated him well, and they're enjoying what's going on the field.
Another great shot by Michael Vick. This one, boy, did he get his hands underneath? This may bring about a challenge, but it looked like he had his hands underneath the ball. I'm sure Chan Galen and his staff looking at it right now, but I think that was a good, successful catch by Avant.
Jason Avant with the catch. It's a first down for the Eagles at the 37. Trailing by 3 touchdowns off the play fake. Vic wants to go deep. Nobody open. Here he goes. Good run, big run by Michael Vick. Picks up a block from LeSean McCoy. Vick inside the 10 is shoved hard out of bounds. At the 11-yard line, they'll mark it right at the 10.
Well, that's the second example we've seen of man coverage is great, but I want you to watch the secondary as they're trailing here. Look at them turn, stop right there. We have no vision on Michael Vick, and this is all he sees here. Boy, I tell you what, that's a tough position to be in. You love to play trail man at times, but Michael Vick, this is the dimension he brings to the game, and boy, did they need it now.
53-yard run, and he sets the all-time record for rushing yards by a quarterback. Now, Vick handing off to LeSean McCoy, bounces it outside. He heads for the corner, and he is in.
Still waiting for the signal.
Let's see. No, they have, the signal is touchdown.
Yeah, they had to confer. That's a touchdown. That's as clear as it can be. They needed to talk with one another. I didn't see the signal, but clearly that's a touchdown.
So LeSean McCoy bouncing it outside with good speed, and there is the drive that the Eagles needed.
Yeah, you know, you'll take it all in one play. We said they needed absolutely something here. Michael Vick, one of the most dynamic talents in this game, as evidenced by the record he just broke.
So the Eagles trying to get back in it. The lead for Buffalo is 28-14. Brian, take us back to this touchdown.
Well, you got to watch on the inside. The center, Kelsey, and the left tackle, Dunlap. Watch them work to the second level. They get right there. Great job by Dunlap pushing up. Kelsey in here. Now sealing the edge. That's a heck of a job by the left tackle, Dunlap, who's had his first start here today.
Former Bill Jason Peters, the best lineman that the Eagles have, out with an injury, a hamstring injury. Good kickoff by Alex Henry, down for a touchback. Now the Eagles defense has to get something done. Back in Buffalo, LeSean McCoy talking things over with the offensive line coach, Howard Mudd.
He's telling him, you know what? They did that good. Let's do that one again.
Michael Vick, second longest run of his career, 53 yards. His career long 58. He's rushed for 88 yards in the game. And a big drive, 5 plays, 80 yards. Now Fitzpatrick dumps it off. And Fred Jackson finds space. Turns that little dump off pass to a 20-yard gain.
Screens have been extremely effective for the Buffalo Bills. You're going to see here, just as this is called a tunnel screen. Stop right there. It's not as wide as you normally see. It's right in here behind the line, then hits right down the middle of the field. A little quick tunnel screen. The last one we saw, the big play that set up their last score, was a wide screen. This is an inside screen, answering big plays with big plays.
Fred Jackson, 4 catches, 78 yards. And the Bills on the move. Cullen Jenkins, the big man on the defensive line for the Eagles, was shaken up on the last play, but as you see, jogged to the sideline. He's out for this play. First down, Bills at their 40. Scott Chandler, the tight end, shifts. Fitzpatrick sends it outside. Nothing there. Well covered. Damon Roosevelt took the pass, and he was tackled immediately.
Bills,
2nd and 10.
Excuse me. Philadelphia's done a nice job the last couple times. The Bills have attempted those quick wide screens. You're familiar with those a lot more in the college game, but the athleticism, particularly of the linebackers, shows of Philadelphia stepping up and stuffing those plays before they can develop.
Philip Hunt, number 76, in at left defensive end for the Eagles. He was the top defensive player in the CFL last season. Straight ahead, Fred Jackson, only a couple of yards. Jared Page, the safety, comes up to make the stop. So now the Eagles defense, a couple of good back-to-back plays. We got a little after the whistle, pushing and shoving.
Well, you've got to make sure, if you're Andy Reid, that the frustration of your team doesn't show up in this way right now. Tempers start to flare. They can see the score, although they're playing a little bit better right now. That frustration can't show itself with a dumb penalty that all of a sudden lets that offense stay on the field an extra play or an extra series.
Cullen Jenkins is back in for the Eagles, who have 6 defensive backs out there on 3rd down. Fitzpatrick, nobody open, and he's hit as he throws and it drops incomplete.
That's the first real pressure we've seen Philadelphia able to put on Ryan Fitzpatrick because of the down and distance. Had to hold a little bit. Just a straight 4-man rush here. Nothing spectacular, but they're able to put Fitzpatrick has to climb the pocket. Not necessarily a clean hit, but enough to influence the play. Good series for Philadelphia. Now they need for their offense to turn around and take it the length of the field like they did the last time.
Darryl Tapp had the hit. Good coverage down the field. Deshaun Jackson is set to receive the punt from Brian Moorman. Jeremy Maclin also deep there, both wide receivers. Big, high kick. Jackson lets it drop at the 5. Bills have it covered. Down it at the 2. Justin Rogers gets down to take that ball before it gets to the end zone. 56-yard punt for Brian Moorman. Michael Vick puts another record into the books. In 2002, he had the single game record, 173 yards rushing. 2006, he had the single season quarterback rushing record. And now he has the career quarterback rushing record, breaking the record previously held by
Randall Cunningham. Yeah, my man Randall. I tell you what, Michael Vick, truly a unique talent for this league. We overuse that word. They're going to do this out of the shadow, and I tell you what, in this stadium, it is noisy down there. We're going to see if the young center Kelsey can do his job.
Vick puts it up. Short pass is dropped by LaShawn McCoy. Sean Merriman was putting pressure on Michael Vick.
And with all that Michael Vick can do with his legs, today we've seen the good and bad of Michael Vick. When you look at some numbers here, the question is, can he perform in the pocket? 3 interceptions in the pocket as opposed to the productivity out of it. His ability, or sometimes inability, to see from the pocket has been a liability. He's gotten better at it, but he still has a ways to go.
Here's 2nd and 10. Vick puts it up wide open. Jason Avant. Avant fights his way up to the 40. The ball was ripped out of his hands. The Bills have it. They whistle it down. Buffalo ball. Jairus Byrd pulled it out of the hands of Jason Avant.
Wow, they have a big play getting out of the shadow of their goal line. The ball comes out at the last second. Great job by Byrd, still fighting, stripping. There's no question the ball comes out early. And now he causes the fumble and comes up with the ball as well. Boy, right now, this is where you worry if you're Andy Reid, the Philadelphia Eagles. You can't let your team fall into the all too familiar, boy, it's just not going to happen today. We're snake bit. You know, you make a big play, you come out of the shadow of your own goal line, and you turn it over. You've got to fight the emotional letdown that you know Philadelphia is facing right now.
Right at the top, 4 turnovers by the Eagles. Avant distraught that he lost the ball. One of the keys to practice this week for the Eagles was ball security. They talked about it all week. And Avant had it ripped out of his hands. The Bills from the Eagles 37. Fred Jackson gets a yard on the play. He's brought down. Buffalo with 280 yards offense. The Eagles 295, but the 4 turnovers have been killers.
Well, you know, and you talked about the focus that you have, and Andy Reid, obviously, he's constantly talking to his team. This loses games. You can't turn the ball over. You got to score in the red zone. But it's the typical white elephant, you know, from the standpoint of if that's all you're talking about, that's all you're thinking about, and you end up doing it. So it's that fine line. How do we get better? How do we bring emphasis to it, but not focus on the point where it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy?
3 wide receivers. The tight end, Chandler shifting. And now Fitzpatrick steps back and calls a timeout. First timeout for the Bills.
Buffalo, 30-second timeout.
Play clock was winding down, and Fitzpatrick, checking out the Eagles defense, stepped back and used the timeout. We at the Fox family lost a dear friend and a great director, great man in television, Joe Assetti, who directed for so many years at CBS, then came to Fox, directed football. I had the pleasure of working with him in the late 90s. Just a great guy, great to all the people around him, and a marvelous director. We will miss him. The ball at the 36-yard line, 2nd and 9 for the Bills. Roosevelt in motion. Fitzpatrick drops it off. That gains nothing. Actually lost a yard back to the 38-yard line. Looks like they're trying to set up some kind of a screen there for Roosevelt.
Yeah, and we talked about earlier, Philadelphia's doing a good job on these quick outside screens, not letting them get started. But this will lead to something else. I'd be surprised if the Bills then don't come back, maybe show one of these quick screens to the outside, pump it, then fall back and take a shot down the field, because Philadelphia is pulling the trigger to stop those plays very quickly.
Eagles, big 3rd down play, 3rd and 11. 3 wide receivers to the right for the Bills. Blitz coming. Shovel pass to Fred Jackson. Gets some room. And he's dropped at the 30, flag on the play. Let's check that out. Boy, Fred Jackson is having himself a tremendous game. He's rushed for 95 yards, has 4 catches for 78 yards. And that one, if that stands, that'll be another 8 yards in receiving.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask, number 24, defense, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
On Nnamdi Asomugha, and that is a big penalty.
Yeah, because he was short of the 1st down. Nnamdi Asomugha loves to stunt you at the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure he wasn't trying to shove the shoulder pad, but he missed dramatically.
Wow.
He loves to get his hands on you and jolt you with those long arms. He missed there, and that cost him, because obviously now that puts him 1st down inside the 15.
The ball spotted at the 14-yard line. Another trip to the red zone for the Buffalo Bills. C.J. Spiller in the backfield. Oh, it's Jackson. And Jackson gets a couple of yards.
And the Buffalo Bill running game is not real complicated, because, and it doesn't have to be, they spread you out so much. You have to account for their 3-by-1 or 3-by-2 sets, depending upon whether they're empty or not. And now here he's just checking how many guys in this box and where is this hole going to open up. It's all about numbers and angles in the NFL. If we got more numbers than you, we're going to run the ball. If we got better angles, we're going to run the ball. If we don't, we're going to throw it.
Came into the game 4th in the NFL in rushing. And he is adding yardage to that with 97 yards. Here's 2nd and 8. Fitzpatrick throws for Scott Chandler, the tight end, taken out of bounds by Jared Page, the safety, at the 8-yard line.
You know, both these tight ends, Chandler and Nelson, are big, nice targets for Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know, Chandler's 6'7", David Nelson 6'5". Quarterbacks love those big targets at tight end, because it's a big sweep spot, particularly in critical situations. You don't have to be spot on. You can just put it close. You can put it up high and away. Let him use his size.
Nelson used a lot as a wide receiver, splits out far to the left. 3 wide outs. Jackson in the backfield on 3rd down. It's Jackson. And he fights his way to about the 6-yard line. Big stop by the Eagles. Jairus Byrd, who ripped the ball out of the hands of Jason Avant for a fumble. The 4th Eagles turnover of the game. And Ryan Lindell, who's 7 for 8 this season, will come on to attempt a field goal from 25 yards out. Brian Mormon is the holder. Garrison Sanborn, the long snapper. And the Bills widen the lead. It's 31-14 Buffalo as they cash in off the turnover. Next week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. The Eagles take on the Washington Redskins in Landover, Maryland. Ryan and I and Laura Oakman will be there. Then on America's Game of the Week, it's the Cowboys traveling to New England to meet the Patriots or other regional action. Next week, beginning with a Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Redskins have this week off, and no doubt taking a look and seeing where they can try and exploit the Eagles. Redskins with a great start to the season.
Yeah, they have, and at home they're going to be tough. This is going to be, last week was a must-win for the Eagles. This week is a must-win. Next week will be, if this holds up, must-win on steroids.
Wow. Here's the numbers. Since 1990, teams that started the season 1-4 in the NFL have been 100. Only 5 have made the playoffs. So that's what the Eagles are up against unless they can rally. And there's time.
Yeah,
there's time to come back.
That was a big stop by the defense now to hold that to 3. So again, with Michael Vick at quarterback, again, this is an explosive Eagle team. If anybody's built to come back from this kind of deficit, it would be the Philadelphia Eagles.
2 men deep for the Eagles to receive Lindell's kick. Riley Cooper and Dion Lewis. Lewis backs up. This will be a touchback. Strong leg by Lindell. And the Eagles will start from the 20-yard line. With a long way to go, Michael Vick heads back on the field. Look at the offenses. The offensive yardage for both teams.
And it doesn't feel that way, does it? And why? Because Philadelphia has done it on a couple big plays where certainly Buffalo has been able to orchestrate. You look at the time of difference, the time of possession. Philadelphia with 23, a little more than 23 minutes. Buffalo has 35 minutes. So that's why that equal number of yards doesn't feel that way, because Buffalo's been able to do it with sustained drives.
You got to double check that. That's on our monitor, but I think that's wrong, Brian. Because that would be 60 minutes. The game would be over. We're just getting to 45 minutes.
But betrayed by the monitor again.
Not your fault. Vick rolls, looks downfield, throws and completes it to the 35-yard line. Good effort by Jason Avant. So he went right back to the man who fumbled the ball last time.
And that's good policy, because it's not like you're not going to leave Avant later on. No one feels worse about it than Jason Avant. This is actually a very good throw. Give him a chance to, and again, Michael Vick outside the pocket. That is where he has been the most effective.
At the 37-yard line, under a minute to go, third quarter. 3 wide receivers to the right. Now McCoy shifts left. Pressure on Vick, and they got it for a sack. It looked like Marcel Darius had taken him down. They ruled it incomplete. Whoa, that was awfully close. Marcel Darius, who had his first NFL sack last week.
And they're talking about Darius in the middle now, coming right up the middle with a little bit of a stunt, opens him up. Boy, he was...
Third down.
Yeah, he was inside the pocket. They had to discuss it a little bit. His knee's not down, and the ball passed the line of scrimmage, so he was safe there.
So it's not intentional grounding. That was the ruling on the field. And Mike Vick gets up limping again. Another hit as he continues to take a physical pounding. Second and 10.
All right. You got in.
McCoy on the delay. Gets away from one man. Big run for LaShawn McCoy. One man to beat, and he's taken down by Jarris Byrd. At the 30-yard line, great run. 33 yards, LaShawn McCoy.
Well, when you spread it out, these little draws, and that's all it is, you're going to see here that just right there, stop. The way he threw to the inside, got down the field. That's the thing I liked about it. The right tackle was able to throw and get his way down the field.
End of the third quarter. Bills lead it 31-14. That's a good ball going through there. Somebody broke the pane of glass. Sam Rosen, Brian Billick, Laura Oakman in Buffalo. We start the fourth quarter. The Eagles on the move after the 32-yard run by LaShawn McCoy. Vick to Deshaun Jackson. Nice move, turns it into a big gainer, turns it into a touchdown. big playmakers, and Deshaun Jackson comes through. 31-yard pass and run. And the Eagles have a chance to cut it to 10.
Well, we talked about the Eagles doing a good job coming up and breaking up these quick screens. Bills couldn't quite return the favor. That's what happens when a wide quick screen gets started. That's when the big plays come, and boy, did Philadelphia need it then.
Deshaun Jackson coming up with a big play. And the Eagles have put up 375 yards offense. The Bills defense, 3 straight games they've given up 450 yards.
Again, nice job. I don't call that a missed tackle because it was a nice job by the tight end Selleck kicking out. And now you're into that second level. Played it perfectly. Break inside, get past the first level, work back to the outside. Well executed wide screen.
Michael Vick, an offensive coordinator. Marty Morton-Henweg. Deshaun Jackson goes over to the offensive coordinator. They like that play.
He knows exactly where it is. He knows why he even got that close in the first place. Nice job.
And then he leaned. That body lean. That was all he needed.
You and I would have been out of bounds about the 10.
Alex Henry's extra point is good. The Eagles are back to within 10. They're chasing the Bills. Offense reigns in this game. Mike Vick has passed for 212 yards and rushed for 88 yards. Deshaun Jackson has come up with a couple of catches, including a 31-yarder for a touchdown. Jason Avant has gone over 100 yards this season. Brad Smith, 5 yards deep, decides to take a knee for the touchback. Now, once again, the Eagles need some defense. As the Buffalo Bills secondary checking things out. The Eagles, this is the first game this season where they haven't had a lead going into the fourth quarter. And you see the numbers. They have been outscored 36-0 in fourth quarters. Up until today's game, they finally put a 7 up on the board.
But that's been with leads. We'll see how they do it now from behind. And the fact that they've pulled this back within 10, because it feels like it's been all Buffalo right now. You're back to a 10-point spread. Eagles need a 3 and out right here.
And the Bills spread their offense and go empty. Jackson motions. Blitz coming. They pick it up. The pass battle down. Good job inside by the middle linebacker, Jamar Chaney.
Well, the Bills got to take a shot deeper in behind one of those quick screens, because as we've seen now the last 4 or 5 times, here they got the linebackers right up in the inside. Man for man, he's got to get the ball out quick. That's a lot of folks on the line of scrimmage. That's just a little quick slant. I got to believe there's areas in behind those quick areas now. If Ryan Fitzpatrick can have time to throw it, that would leave Philadelphia vulnerable.
He's gone with a rookie at left tackle, 4th-round draft pick, Chris Hairston, who was held up pretty well. On 2nd and 10, screen again. Jackson had a leap to get it. And in the interim, he's taken down for a loss. Time for an update, and for that, back to the studio in L.A. to Kurt Menefee.
Hey, look at this, guys. Cam Newton with his 2nd touchdown pass of the game. He's also run for one. And that one to Greg Olsen gives them the lead over the Saints in the fourth quarter, 27-23. Sam and Brian.
Thanks, Kurt. He is something special, Brian.
He is. We had him last week, and I tell you what, from week to week in the NFL, that's what it's all. Forget what you saw last week. Doesn't matter what happened last week. It's all about what's going on now. This is an incredible start to the season.
Nate Allen made that tackle. It was 3rd and long. Bills are 6 for 11 in 3rd down conversions. Everybody out. Fitzpatrick has time. Nobody open, and they got it for a sack. Cullen Jenkins with his 6th sack of the season. Big play.
You hold on the ball this long, that's where big plays come from. That's a long time to hold the ball. This is a great coverage sack by the secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles. Given a time for Cullen Jenkins, an inside pass rusher to come up with the sack, a rare sack on Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, only the third time he's been sacked this season. So a big effort by the Eagles defense. 3 and out for the Bills, and Brian Moorman 3 yards deep in the end zone to punt it. Good high kick. Deshaun Jackson goes all the way back to the 25. What a kick. And Jackson finds an opening, but he slipped as he made a cut. He gets back to the 44-yard line. Eagles making the comeback try. They're trailed by 10. Eagles defense 16 sacks this season, all by defensive linemen.
Wow.
And Cullen Jenkins got the one today. Jason Babin, who leads the NFL with 7, who stopped Trent Cole, who has 3. He's out of the lineup today. Eagles on offense from the 44. With Dion Lewis in the backfield. Vick sidelines it to Brent Selleck. And he gets up to midfield. Check out the Eagles and the way they've scored today, Brian.
Well, it's all been the big plays. Here you can see the little jump cut by LaShawn McCoy. Then obviously the big plays that Michael Vick makes with his arm outside. This is just all Deshaun Jackson, man. Starts inside, gets back outside. You love those as a quarterback. You throw it behind the line of scrimmage and you get a touchdown.
That last catch by Brent Selleck, his first of the game. Picked up 6 on the play. Vick working out of the shotgun. Pressure coming. And he connects with Deshaun Jackson. Jackson to the sideline is tripped up out of bounds. Leotis McKelvin takes him out. I think the Eagles got away with a hold. I thought I saw a hold on this rush.
You're going to see all-out pressure here. Somebody broke coverage. He couldn't get over the top. You had another one of those bunch looks we talked about. Rub the coverage off, and you get a wide-open Deshaun Jackson.
Nice catch. 26-yard pickup. Eagles in scoring position. Down to the 24-yard line. Riley Cooper is in. At the bottom of your screen, the fake. And it's dumped off to LaShawn McCoy. He's got a blocker in front of him. He's at the 10 and out of bounds. At the 9-yard line. Another little pass. Boy, those running backs, both running backs. Jackson for Buffalo and McCoy for the Eagles. Great receivers and great catch and run guys.
Screens are the rule of the day today, and both these teams are very good at the screens. We've seen wide receiver screens. We've seen traditional wide screens by backs. We've seen the inside tunnel screens. LaShawn McCoy and Jackson are both very good at it, and it's a staple of the offenses. You don't just all of a sudden pull that out.
First and goal at the 8. Steve Smith is in as one of the wide receivers to the right. And Vick takes off, got tripped up, and he dives forward to the 6-yard line. He had the angle to head for the end zone. Alex Carrington got him by the ankles and tripped him up.
Well, that was designed and called quarterback draw from the get-go. That's not just him scrambling. He set it, got away with a little bit of a hold there. Usually he'll step out of that. Pretty good diagnosis by the Buffalo Bills. That was a called quarterback draw. That was not a scramble.
6 runs, 90 yards for Michael Vick. Second and goal at the 6. Owen Schmidt, the fullback, in the backfield. Vick gets protection, takes off, flag on the play. Vick takes it in. He is into the end zone, but 2 flags are down in the Eagles' backfield.
Yeah, this is likely coming back. This looks like it's going to be holding.
Illegal use of hands to the face. 63 offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
That's on Danny Watkins.
Yeah, that's the rookie on the right side right here. You can't see him. He's over in here. Those hands have got it right here. The minute they go to the face mask and push up. If he hadn't have pushed up, he might have gotten away with it. Kind of pedestrian in terms of he started low, it worked its way up, but you can't push your hands up to the face mask.
2 first-round draft picks going at it.
Yeah, how about
Watkins going against Marcel Darius.
Yeah, a lot of money bumping up together.
Ball back to the 16-yard line. Second and goal. Everybody out. Vick in trouble. Gets out of trouble. Being chased by Moats, and out of bounds he goes. There's a flag on the play back at the 29-yard line.
quarterback was out of bounds.
Okay, that part we got.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'll buy that, Walt.
All right. Let's.
Number 65, offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Holding on King Dunlap.
Yeah,
so
on the left.
2 penalties really hurt the Eagles.
Yeah, this is a killer. You talk about red zone efficiency or lack thereof. We talked about settling for 3 turnovers. This is one where you could end up with the same way. At a lethal time, we got a 10-point differential here. You're going to see right here, King Dunlap. Now, Michael Vick kind of holds and waits and moves around. This is tough. One-on-one against Sean Merriman. Boy, I don't know about that one.
Eagles have been set back 20 yards on back-to-back plays. 2nd and goal from the 26. Draw play, McCoy finds some room. George Wilson stayed with him. And the pickup is 5 yards down to the 21-yard line. Once again, George Wilson, who's had a big game for the Bills, making a key stop, brings up 3rd and goal for the Eagles.
All right, you got a 10-point differential. You're in field goal range, all but with a young kicker. This is one you got to be careful about end zone shots. Put the ball in the hands of one of your skilled people underneath. Let him run for the first down. You got a clear shot, fine. You cannot turn the ball over. Let your skilled people make their plays.
Don't forget it's goal to go.
Yeah, it's all right, though.
Okay.
I'll still give him a shot. I don't want to take myself out of field goal position here.
Everybody out. Vick steps up, dumps it off to McCoy. And they did play it safe. McCoy slipped and then was covered by Brian Scott. So the ball down to the 17. And the rookie out of Nebraska, Alex Henry, who missed 2 field goals last week when the Eagles lost to the San Francisco 49ers by 1 point. Henry, who was the most accurate kicker in NCAA history at Nebraska at 89.5%. Now a 35-yard try.
You're not in Nebraska anymore, son.
Chaz Henry, the holder, the kick on the way, and it's good. And the Eagles are within 7. They have mounted the comeback. Back in Buffalo, where the Eagles have come from 17 down, trailed by 7. That last possession for a score was their longest time of possession to score points. 4 minutes, 3 seconds.
Yeah, as long as it leads to points, but they were wishing it was 7 because that may come back and haunt them. But now they're into a 1-score game. You couldn't ask for more given the way this game had transpired early.
Into the end zone, and Brad Smith decides to bring it back. And he is stopped at the 10. On a bouncer, have to question that decision.
You know, it's interesting. We asked Chan Gailey about this because so many people are bringing it out of the end zone, and very effectively. I asked him specifically on Friday. He says if the ball's in the end zone, we're not bringing it out. And we've seen it all day long where they've had a position there. Brad Smith decided to take it on his own. I imagine he and Chan are going to have a discussion about what about not bringing it out of the end zone do you not understand?
There you see Ryan Fitzpatrick. They have not looked for the deep ball at all in this game.
And that's going to have to change here a little bit because we've seen Philadelphia both with pressure and coverage come screaming up on the short passes. They're going to have an opportunity to put it at the very least at the intermediate depth, if not deep.
Bills with 3 wide receivers. Corey McIntyre is back in the lineup, and a good block helped spring Fred Jackson. Flag on the play, behind the play. And it's against Buffalo. Time for an update. We go to Kurt Menefee, standing by to give us an update on what's going on.
Well, it's a baseball update for you, Sam, and Game 2 of the American League Championship Series has already been postponed due to rain down in Texas. So Detroit and the Texas Rangers will play Game 2 tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 Pacific. You can still catch it right here on Fox.
Thank you, Kurt.
Well, the hold's right in here, back in. You can see he's got a big hold of it.
Herbert taking down Trevor Laws. And the ball back to the 5-yard line. 1st and 15 for the Bills. Fitzpatrick, the Roosevelt, who breaks a tackle and gets to the outside and is angled out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 1st down for the Bills. Jared Page, the safety, had a chance to bring him down. Another missed tackle.
Yeah, the missed tackles again just jump up at just the wrong time. They were about to keep Buffalo down, kicking out of their own end zone. What a huge break it would have been for Philadelphia. But you got to remember now, you got to rally your troops. Guys, they're still only on the 25-yard line. Okay, let's not panic here just because we let them out of the hole.
20-yard pickup. That is Naaman Roosevelt's family. They are from Buffalo. Enjoying Naaman's performance. Fred Jackson cutting it back. Slips one tackle. Stiff arms another. Good run by Jackson for a first down up to the 36-yard line.
Again, missed tackles plaguing the Philadelphia Eagles. You're going to see here just when there is just an arm to stop right there in a hole. Clear miss now again. I know I'm engaged here. I get an arm out there. I can't run it down. Gets another 2-3 yards. Missed opportunity. That should have been a no gain or a 1-yard gain at best.
Jared Page missing a tackle. He's missed a couple. For Fred Jackson, 109 yards rushing in the game. His 10th career 100-yard rushing game. A lot of offense for both teams. Here's Jackson. That time he's hit at the line of scrimmage. Falls forward to the 38. Gets 2 on the play. Kurt Coleman, who has replaced Jared Page, makes the stop. Coleman, a second-year man from Ohio State. So Jared Page, after a couple of misses, has gone to the sideline.
Well, Buffalo in and out of spread alignments, tight alignments. I think when they get in that tight alignment, they need a play action with a deep shot down the field. He's going to do a number check here. He's going to look at the box. He'll probably stay up. Okay, stayed with the run.
Fred Jackson angling to the left is taken down by Cullen Jenkins. Picked up a yard on the play, so here comes a big third down play.
They're all big third downs. I don't know if the time we said, here's a third down, but don't worry about it.
That's
it's no
right.
big deal.
Eagles, sorry.
Go ahead.
Brian.
You were just going to say, they have been so good on third down today, particularly in critical situations. This is where that high-priced secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles needs to show up. They need to have good, tough coverage, make Ryan Fitzpatrick hold on to the ball so the rush can get home.
In motion, Brad Smith. He's in as a wide receiver. Everybody out. Fitzpatrick throwing underneath to Stevie Johnson. No first down. Well done by the Eagles. The safety, Nate Allen, with a big play.
This is a nice job by Nate Allen. You're going to see him trail the play in here. Once he fights through the trash. Now look at this tackle and wrap. He's not going to take him down low, give him a chance to step out of it. Good tackle and wrap, bring it down, get some help from your friends. Nice stop on third down.
So with just under 6 minutes remaining, the Eagles will get the ball back. Jeremy Maclin is standing back at his own 14-yard line. Mormon gets it away. Booming kick. Maclin lets it drop. And it goes through the end zone for a touchback. 57-yard punt. It nets 37. The Eagles have the ball back. The game belonged to the Bills in the first half and into the third quarter. But now the Eagles have come back to within 7 points. See the yardage? Eagles 434 yards of offense. Vick, short drop, connects with Jason Avant. Avant, who's over 100 yards receiving in the game, his 7th catch. He had the big fumble where he had the ball ripped out of his hands, but he's had a good game.
Well, there was pressure there on Michael Vick in those situations. You abandon the play fake. Just get the ball. You know you're going to have a clean shot to the receiver. Nice play by Avant.
Bills with 5 defensive backs. Vick gets time, drops it off to McCoy. Looking for some room, gets one block, tries the other side, and gets outside and is out of bounds across the 30, and he got a first down.
I'm not quite sure that's the way Andy Reid and Marty Morningwig drew this up, but I want you to watch. If this were on a tracker, this is supposed to be, again, one of those tunnel screens, and I'm going to go back here. No, I'm going to change direction. Now I'm just running for my dear life. This is the longest 1-yard run of the season, I promise you. Oh, and we missed a little bit of a face mask. Incidental, but would have added a few more yards to it.
We'll give him 3 up to the 31. It's a first down for the Eagles. They pick up the blitz. That was Dion Lewis that took down Jarris Byrd. Vick throws it back to the other side of the field and completes it. The catch made by Deshaun Jackson.
Well, we're in sheer street ball mode here now. Okay, none of this is by design. You're lucky you don't have a lineman downfield. That's a very, very dangerous pass. But Michael Vick makes a living out of it. We're drawing this up in the dirt now, man.
He's making it happen. This is the 4th consecutive game that the Bills defense has given up over 450 yards offense to the opposition. Vick throws, completes to Avant. He slipped and he made his cut, but he's got enough for another Eagles first down at the Bills 47, and the Eagles on the move again.
They've gone into a semi-zone coverage here. Here he passes it off. He tries to go with them. I'm sorry, he falls down here. These little crossing routes is what both teams are looking for, because if you can hit a guy on the run, can rub off the defender, maybe he slips down, you can get big plays out of what is really a very short pass.
They're getting 11 yards at a clip here. Now empty backfield. Vick gets time and throws, and the catch is made again by Jason Avant. That's a career high 9 catches for Jason Avant. The pickup of 15 yards. He's got 139 yards receiving.
Yeah, and again, it's just now this is the next level, little juke one-on-one here. I got to tell you this now, this young offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles, Kelsey and Watkins on the inside, Dunlap on the outside, doing a heck of a job against this pressure.
Vick has passed for 312 yards, and now more as it goes to Deshaun Jackson, who's brought down across the 30, spotted at the 29. Arthur Moats made the stop, 3-yard pickup, but the Eagles on the move. You see the clock winding down. Eagles have all their timeouts remaining. Bills have 2.
Yeah, Jackson would have loved to have gotten back inside like the last screen that scored, then get back outside. Every time you stay too far outside on a screen, you don't get a lot out of it.
Big second half. The Eagles with the big comeback. Blitz coming. Sean McCoy down to the 25-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd and 3. Nick Barnett made the tackle. 4-yard gain for LaShawn McCoy. McCoy, 11 carries, 80 yards, and we come to the 2-minute warning. The Bills have led for most of the game. Now the Eagles trying to make up the big deficit and try to get this game even. It's 31-24 with 2 minutes to go. Fred Jackson has done plenty on offense for the Bills, but he's watching his defense right now. It's 3rd and 3 for the Eagles.
Now the key here, you know you're in 4-down territory the rest of the way, so that affects the play calling. You've got 2 timeouts. You've got plenty of time. The key being you got 4 downs to make your calls.
3 wide receivers in. They pick up the blitz. The pass to Avant, but he's short of the first down, and the ball's taken away by Nick Barnett. It's another Eagles turnover at the worst possible time. The 5th takeaway of the game for the Bills.
Well, they're looking at it up in the booth right now. Is there any chance that he might have been down? Ball comes out quick, the little quick out. It's a catch. Nope, the ball's gone, and it gets kicked up into the air. This is not a fumble. This is an interception. The ball never touched the ground.
Drayton Florence ripped it out of the hands of Jason Avant. The 2nd time that's been done to the wide receiver, and Nick Barnett was able to pick it up on the fly.
Another turnover in the red zone.
And Jason Avant, who's had a career game, has had 2 fumbles that have hurt his team. Fred Jackson gets back to the line of scrimmage, and the Eagles use a timeout.
Well, the Eagles may have a chance to get the ball back. They've used one timeout here. They'll use another one after this on third down. Conceivably, Buffalo would run the ball. I can't imagine them throwing it. Then with the punt, they'll have somewhere in the vicinity of 40 seconds, maybe a little less, to see if indeed they can't convert on a first down here. I'm talking about Buffalo. Michael Vick may have one more opportunity here.
5 turnovers in the game for the Eagles. Their turnover differential for the game is -4 and -10 for the season.
Well, has been, is now, and always will be. Turnover differential I'm talking about, the #1 determinant. That and explosive plays. And the differential means giving and getting as well. That's the key thing there.
Brad Smith is in the game. And the Wildcat. He holds it and runs it. And he pushes the pile. Big Brad Smith able to work his way up to close to the 49-yard line. A gain of 7 on the play. And the Eagles use their second timeout. 1:38 remaining. And a big third down coming up.
Well, this is always an interesting call here because you need to run the ball because you want the clock to continue to run. If they have the one, if I'm not mistaken, they have one timeout left. Okay, they've got one left, so they know that timeout's going to come. If that's the case, there's really not an upside in throwing the ball here other than if you do complete it, they use the timeout, they're under 2 minutes, they're done. The game is over. Right. So what kind of play call? You'd be aggressive, and believe me, there are going to be a whole bunch of folks up in the line of scrimmage. If it was ever time to get a pass down the field, it would be now. But even with Brad Smith and the Wildcat.
Fitzpatrick wide to the right. Brad Smith in the backfield to get the snap in the Wildcat. He runs it straight ahead again, pushing the pile with that power. It's very close, very, very close. But it looks like a little bit short.
Well, they're clearly going to measure this one.
Jason Avant has had 9 catches for 139 yards, but on 2 of those catches, the Bills have ripped the ball out of his hands and recovered fumbles. Bills have scored 17 points off turnovers in the game. Nick Barnett was the man who got the loose ball that popped in the air. Here's the measurement. Short. Couple of inches. Wow. The turnovers we talked about. There's Avant. Jairus Byrd rips it out of his hands. And the recovery. And there's the ball being ripped out of the hands of Avant again. Pops in the air and is taken by Nick Barnett. Inches away, and the Bills will punt it away. The Eagles use their final timeout. Deshaun Jackson is back deep. Boy, the Eagles could use a big return here. They were down by 21 in the third quarter, 28-7. They came back and got it to within 7, and they were driving. And then the ball pulled out of the hands of Jason Avant and recovered by Nick Barnett. Well, they're going to go for it. How about that? What do you think, Coach?
I think they're going to try to draw the Philadelphia Eagles offside. We've seen it the last 2 games that we've had in our game, Sam. I think they'll try to draw them off sides, and if they don't, then they'll turn around and punt it.
All right. They need a couple of inches if they would dare go for it on 4th down. And if they went for it and had made it, the game would be over. Let's see. The hard count by Ryan Fitzpatrick drew Juquay Parker offside. First down, Buffalo.
Neutral zone infraction.
Oh my gosh. Sam, it must be me. We had this same thing 2 weeks ago with Atlanta and Tampa Bay. There was a timeout. The coaches told all the players, it's going to be a fake snap count. And you got the... he got it. Knows, guys, how can you not know that's what you were doing?
Eagles are out of timeouts, and they will go down to defeat for the 4th consecutive time. And that's not a young player, that is a veteran player, Juquay Parker. Avant lost 2 balls, turned 2 over.
Yeah, and Andy Reid knows it's right now those types of mistakes. You can scheme all you want. You can motivate all you want, but mistakes like that, half of them will lose you a game, let alone the number that the Eagles have made today.
The Eagles put up 489 yards of offense, and they can't win the game. The Bills, taking advantage of the Eagles' turnovers, are going to 4-1. And at worst, they'll be tied for first place with New England. The Patriots playing the Jets today. It's a win for the Buffalo Bills. They defeat the Philadelphia Eagles 31-24. Mike Vick ran for 90 yards, passed for 315, but there were 4 interceptions. And the Bills took advantage. The last play that killed them, the offside by Juquay Parker. Wow. What are your thoughts about what we saw today?
Well, I tell you what, we've got this same Philadelphia Eagle team in Washington next week, obviously within the division. 1-4, certainly not where the dream team wanted to be. You are not out of it. Holding this, it's a veteran team, a veteran coach, but this is going to be a monumental task for the Eagles.
Coming back to Buffalo right after this. Back in Buffalo, the head coach, Chan Gailey, the man who puts the offense together, and they've racked up 168 yards in the first half.
Masterful job so far with a team that they don't see a lot of. So this was a whole new experience for Buffalo, obviously not playing the Eagles very often.
26 plays, 16 runs, 10 passes. And they put it on the ground. Fred Jackson grabbed and hauled down. It's a couple of yards up to the 38-yard line. Ryan Fitzpatrick has been well protected in this game. This season, he's only been sacked 2 times.
Well, the Eagles talked about one of the difficulties being you can't get to this guy. He gets the ball out so quickly, you can't get a clean hit on him.
And the run game has been very effective. Brad Smith is in the game as a wide receiver. Fitzpatrick. Jackson. And the Eagles are there. Short pickup. And Jackson is hit across the 40-yard line. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie and Nate Allen combined. Time winding down in this first half.
Oh, by the way, the co-college mascot.
Oh, yeah? Go ahead. I can't. Give me a guess. Is it an animal?
A bird.
A bird. The co-college...
Cohawks.
Cohawks?
I have no idea what a cohawk is.
I was going to say eagle, but...
Well, I'll give you $250 for that. The cohawks.
So we've got Marv Levy, Stevie Johnson, and Kurt Menefee.
Now that's a threesome I might not put together in a normal conversation. Freddie Jackson.
Fred Jackson.
That's
my
right.
apologies.
We'll throw Stevie in
There's
there too.
Marv. And we'll get a shot of Kurt in a little while. Michael Vick of Virginia Tech. Wondering about what he can do to get things straightened out. Fitzpatrick, empty backfield. Hits Stevie Johnson. And he's taken down on a good hit. Stevie Johnson's out of Kentucky.
Buffalo has 2 timeouts here. They're in great shape. This is a great presence of knowing just where I need to be for the first down, because this is a nice step up and tackle. Didn't quite bring him down. Stunted his forward progress, but still enough for a first down. Nice orchestration.
3 receivers to the right side. Fitzpatrick to Stevie Johnson at midfield. There's a flag on the play on the far side. We'll check that out.
We've got offsides on Philly. Best part about that is it stops the clock.
93, defense.
Very quiet first half.
Now inside of a minute, we're at 48 seconds, 2 timeouts. That gives Buffalo a whole bunch of time now here, thinking about I need about 15 yards to get in field goal.
Speaking of our friend Curt Menefee from Coe College, let's go to him right now, find out what's coming up on the Visa halftime report. Curt?
All right, thanks, guys. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, we'll have scores and highlights from a big Week 5 in the NFL, including an emotional game for the Raiders in Houston. Plus the Fox Sports ticker with up to the second stats. It's all on the Visa halftime report. If we can pull Jimmy away from the monitors.
Thanks, Curt. Jimmy, so intense watching those games.
We sure he was watching the games? Was maybe Terra Nova was on, huh? He was watching an episode of Terra Nova.
He's got to know what that series is doing.
Well, they got a lot of options here, including running the ball, which is a huge advantage for you. You'd like to hold 1 timeout in your back pocket to get your field goal team on, but they're in a great position here to minimum get into field goal range, maybe even something more.
They've got to respot the ball. They have it on the 50, should be on the Eagles 49. It's 1st and 5. Now they've got it. Ryan Fitzpatrick 9 for 12 for 108 yards and 1 touchdown. And Fred Jackson 14 carries, 58 yards and 1 TD. Fitzpatrick. There was some pressure. The pass intercepted. The middle linebacker, Jamar Chaney, with the intercept, and the Eagles get their first takeaway of the game.
And a huge takeaway. Ryan Fitzpatrick, not known for this, kind of thrown into coverage here. You've got this bunch look over here. You can see, plays it off, and right here, it's as though he loses sight of the linebacker. I don't know if he thought he could get over the top of them or just flat didn't see him. But that's an awful tight window to try to throw it in. I tend to think he didn't see Chaney, thought maybe he had vacated to the flat.
Chaney went way up for that interception. Eagles have no timeouts remaining, but they have the ball in Bills territory. Vick was hit as he throws, but he completes it to Jeremy Maclin inside the 40 and out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
That was a great throw. That was the proverbial frozen rope. This is a long old throw for a quarterback, coming off that left hash all the way to the right sideline. That's a beautiful throw by Michael Vick.
By the way, the interception by Jamar Chaney, his first in the NFL. He's a second-year linebacker. Vick out of the shotgun. Still has it. And rolling. He's still in bounds. He takes a hit, but he's got a first down to the Bills' 26-yard line. Clock running.
Yeah, they're going to kill this. He's going to put this one in the dirt, get everybody set, nobody move, dirt it.
And the clock stops with 13 seconds. The Eagles are in field goal range.
Now here's the dilemma that you have. You need a minimum of 18 seconds to do what's called a bingo field goal team. That means I have time to run a play, run my team onto the field if I have no timeouts, if the clock is running. So here he's got limited options. This thing's got to be caught and immediately got out of bounds, because you don't have time to run your field goal team in there. You got to put this thing out of bounds or in the end zone if you can't complete it inbounds.
Alex Henry along the sideline getting ready. Vick gets protection, waits, throws, and it's almost intercepted. Trying to get it to Deshaun Jackson. Great defensive play by Reggie Corner.
Now this is an interesting call with 8 seconds. You still have time to take a shot to the end zone, try for a field goal on 4th down, but with 8 seconds, Michael Vick has to make a very quick decision. He can't sit in that pocket, read, scramble around and make any other throw but a touchdown throw, because you're going to be out of time for the field goal. This requires a quick decision by Michael Vick.